All right, let's not pretend that the best part of Venom was not the end. What's going on, YouTube? It has been way too long. I apologize, my WeSibs fans. I've just been working so hard. I've been on the road so hard. I haven't been able to watch as many movies and TV shows, which is a shame because I know Titans is out and C is out, but I'm going to try to get to season finale, season wrap-ups of both of those. But today, we are talking Venom. And what I thought of the movie, I did get a chance to go see it last weekend, and so it was kind of disappointing, and I'm going to explain why. So before we get started, be sure to hit the subscribe button and click the bell so you don't miss as we cover your favorite tech and video games. This is not the Granite Geek Show. Wow, it's been a while. Okay, so I'm going to basically break this movie down into three categories. Number one is Venom himself. Number two is going to be the story overall. And number three is going to be, of course, that ending because of the major implications. All right, so let's start with Venom. And I got to be honest, guys, I did not like this Venom. So this is a very MCU-friendly Venom. He was making a lot more jokes. He was almost a goofball all of the time. And I understand Venom's character in the comics and even in the cartoons has kind of softened up over the years from being just that evil symbiote type of character to being more of an anti-hero along the lines of like a Wolverine. But in this movie, he's full-blown kind of a good-hearted guy who cares about friendship and love and all those things. But he's just, his appearance is villainous for sure. And it's like, okay, he was created to look villainous because he was originally a villain. He was a bad guy. So I didn't like it, and I don't think it was consistent with even what we got from Sony's first Venom movie, okay? So of course there were jokes, right? But Venom was very dark, and he was still biting people's heads off, and he had that bloodlust, right? So that was more in line with the character overall. That was the edgier type DC type of Venom adaptation that I think a lot of fans liked, and that was part of what made the first movie so successful, especially as rated R movies, superhero movies like Deadpool and Wolverine started to catch on. I think that they definitely missed it with the Venom 2 movie. Now, Venom was making jokes, and we knew this even from the trailer. You say Ida, I say Ida, whatever, while he's making Eddie breakfast and stuff like that. It was jokey, but I was hoping that, you know, they were just doing that to, you know, show us a different side of Venom, at least for part of the movie. And remember, when they craft these trailers, they always make it intentionally. Every clip is chosen so that it conveys a certain element of the movie. But unfortunately, this was the entire dimension of Venom in this movie. It was almost always a joke. Almost everything out of his mouth was a joke. So Tom Hardy's character, Eddie Brock, was a goofball, and then Venom was just another goofball. And I think it took away some of the dynamic quality to his character. So Venom as a character doesn't get high marks from me. But let's move on to the story as a whole, and I actually think the story was really good. I loved Cletus Cassidy. I love that character as a whole and just the story that he's been through. Of course, fantastic job in just his portrayal and stuff like that. But Carnage, the effects were good. I felt like he could have been a little bit more red. He looked a little almost skin color than necessarily red. It was funny when Venom's like, oh, that's a red one. And it actually came from Venom. It was one of his offspring, but it just mixed with the serial killer Cletus Cassidy. The little love story and stuff that was going on with him, it was okay, and I enjoyed it. You know, overall, I think the story was actually better than Venom 1. I think seeing Venom face one of his arch nemesis, which is weird, when you're a villain, you usually don't have those, but it goes to show, you know, how Venom's character has changed and gotten a lot softer over time, and maybe they were creating a little mini arc in the Venom movie of having him start so kind of darker, with some jokes thrown in there, to kind of getting lighter as kind of a microcosm of what's happened to his character in the comics as a whole. So yeah, the story was good. I liked the dynamic between Carnage and Cletus Cassidy, obviously fighting and then ultimately dividing, not being a good match, as they say in the movie. Which is weird because I feel like Cletus Cassidy and Carnage are a good match, but the love interest kind of made it, you know, he obviously loved her more than he loved Carnage. That was his motivation. It wasn't just to cause carnage, which I think once again lightens up Carnage's character and Cletus Cassidy's character as a serial killer, as somebody who, you know, has just this bloodlust that can't be quenched. It makes Carnage the perfect symbiote for someone like him. But then you have these redeeming qualities in these characters, like the love that he has for the Screaming Girl. I forget her name. And it softens him up. So it's funny I'm saying this, but I actually did enjoy the story and just how it developed. It didn't seem too fast paced, although it picked up, you know, it was a good pace. Because oftentimes these superhero movies, especially when you're dealing with complete CGI characters like Venom, they always want to save on the budget and not show them in CGI mode all the time. And that means we can get long gaps in the movie where there's no action or no CGI and stuff like that. And it really felt like everything was evenly paced and spaced out in terms of the action, so that it never got super boring. It continued to be a superhero movie. So story-wise, I loved it. It was better than Venom 1. Okay, now, number three, finally, let's talk about this post-credit scene in which Venom gets transported to the MCU. This is huge. I mean, there were rumblings about this, and then we finally see it, and it's incredible. I think the means by which Venom got transported to the MCU were Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. It was them messing around in Doctor Strange and the madness of the multiverse, or multiverse of madness. Spider-Man's messing with the spell, and I think that's part of what brings Venom into the MCU. But we're treated to this television where JJ is at the Daily Bugle exposing Peter Parker as Spider-Man from the remnants of the last Spider-Man movie, in which Spider-Man was basically framed for killing Mysterio. So that's where Venom is first introduced to Spider-Man, and he seems to automatically have kind of he takes to him automatically, almost as if Venom has a new person that he wants to be with in a symbiotic relationship, as opposed to Eddie Brock. And this is something that we saw in the comics where Venom was originally with Spider-Man. And so hopefully we'll get some black suit Spider-Man, which we did see in Multiverse of Madness. We saw Spider-Man running in the trailer. I'll probably put that up on screen right now in a black suit. Does this mean that this was the symbiote? Does this mean that this was Venom? I love the Sam Raimi trilogy as far as the aspect of Venom goes, that it felt good to Peter. It had like this this dark energy that kind of took over his personality and his character. I don't know if they're going to do that for this, but I like that Venom has that also, that darker effect on Peter Parker for sure. But yeah, so we get to see this in the movie where Venom he's talking to, Eddie, and they're talking about, oh, well, you know, you don't know what it's like to be a symbiote like me with something billions of years of knowledge and stuff like that in a hive mind. And Eddie's like, whatever, I can take it. So I guess before he was able to show him that's when the whole thing happened with Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. And so this is all playing in hugely into the combination of the Spider-Verse from Sony and the MCU. So things are about to hit big time. We're about to get Sinister Six. It's all coming together. Venom's going to be in the Sinister Six, more than likely. So, man, Venom 2 had some amazing ending, great story, but the character Venom, I'm just not feeling him so much. This blue light is insane. I gotta like turn it away from myself or turn it down. But oh well. Let me know what you guys thought of the Venom movie down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and chat it up with you guys in the comments. Once again, stay tuned for Titans and stay tuned for C. I'm going to be wrapping up those seasons and doing a season wrap-up episode, finale episode. Sorry guys, once again, that it's been so long, but the content is going to get churning as we get into the fall. So you're going to want to get subbed up. Click the bell so you don't miss. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.